So we've decided to come up with this book to record what we've done not only during the 40 years of TAC, but going back as far as we can in history to Canada's first tunnel.
Next year is TAC's 40th anniversary. So there's a long history there.
Starting with pioneering, which basically is when the country was being built and the settlers were coming across and had to build the infrastructure to support it.
There's some fantastic photos in there from the, those early pioneering days.
We, as TAC, have to demonstrate our capabilities and the history that is in our country with respect to tunneling. We took this format, quite a large book, just to help bring the photos to life. Because if they're small photos and you're looking at small images, it doesn't really demonstrate the grandeur, the size of these caverns and the work itself. You can see these guys, their faces. You get a little connected with the emotions.
You see some of the roots here, maybe the young people, everything's electronic levels now and stuff like that. Here they are.
That makes a good point, where today with today's machines, tunneling machines, we never see the face. We never interact physically with the face. It's interacting with the machine. But where these guys are using boards to hold to support the face, they're working with the face at all times. They're truly interacting with the face.
Canada from the start has been a resource-based country, and obviously underground mining played a very big role in the growth of our country and the tunneling that goes along in terms of those underground excavations. And so you're able to see how that has evolved and the thought process that has gone into these really difficult operations of drilling and blasting and mucking in terms of removing that rock and advancing the tunnel, and then never knowing what is the next challenge as that blast round goes off, what is going to happen in the geology.
This is actually our first tunnel that was built in Canada, a rail tunnel in Kingston, Ontario, which was the first capital of Canada, and then was eventually moved to Ottawa.
So many of these, old and fantastic tunneling projects of going under rivers or the Great Lakes in terms of connecting to the U.S.
This was the crossing of the St. Clair River, which made Scientific America front page more than 100 years ago, where they were using state-of-the-art technology for muck haulage. One of the purposes of this book is to show the world that we Canadians, we are generally a quiet people, but I think this is a time that we can put this in a book and boast a little bit that we really are experts in the field of tunneling and underground construction.
There's the metro tunnels, the sections on the building of the metro system. Yeah, some early work in Toronto, Vancouver, the Canada line, very important link in terms of connecting the airport to downtown, built for the 2010 Winter Olympics. Everything from the big hydro projects to even some of the more recent now run-of-river projects. We must have one of the most reliable power systems around thanks to these hydroelectric projects.
A lot of this work was done in the early days of the country. And who was doing it? Immigrants that came to Canada. And they would have been the Irish, the English, the Scots, the Italians, the Swiss.
A lot of immigration from China and Japan.
We can talk about the last 50 years, and certainly there were steps in technology, but what I learned was these people who came across to this big barren country and built stuff under dangerous conditions, these are very strong people. And I'm proud to be calling them Canadians as I am to be a Canadian.